Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing real well today. This will be part 7 of the USS Arizona limited edition Eduard set, 350th scale. Before we get started, I want to give 2 shout outs. It's one guy, 2 channels. They're both very small and they are both, you got to see them. Okay, I found out about these from my buddy Mark from Montana. He's been friends with this guy for quite some time. His name is Frank, or maybe it's Frank, Peter Van de Gore. He has he has 44 subs right now. He has a channel with 7 or 8 videos on it, and it's all about World War One, World War Two, and Cold War history. He has an amazing collection of memorabilia in his home. It's like going to a museum. The first video I watched, he took you around his home and did a tour, and he has just an amazing amount of original uh, everything. Uh, British, French, German, Italian, Russian, uh, Belgian, everything you can think of. He has something in his collection from it. I guess he's been collecting for 10 years or better. And his second channel is kind of a shortening of his name. It's Frapego, Frapego models. I'll put links to both of these channels in the description. It's the same guy. It's Frank Peter, and he is big into model building and slot car racing. He has a slot car track that is amazing. He has scenery, scratch built buildings, um, the whole works, trees, people, everything. It's a beautiful layout. You just got to see what he's doing. But between on the slot car channel, he's only got 94 subs right now. So if you guys could go take a look, if you like what you see, give him a sub. I'd really appreciate it. He's a real nice guy, and I believe he's an author too. He's written some books, or at least a book about World War II history. So take a look if you would. Now on with the. Let's go down to the bench, and we'll take a look at what I've done. All right, or what I'm working on. All right, be right back, guys. Okay, this is the day after my last video. I sanded the screw goo down, and there was still some low spots, so I filled it some more. So this is still setting up. I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone. So we'll work on some other things for a little while, and I'll come back and check on that a little later. It usually takes a good day for that screw goo to set up all the way. So let's work on some 5-inch anti-aircraft guns. That'll keep us busy for a little while. This is the kit supplied gun. I know you can't see it. It's very, very tiny. I will put a picture up. There's just practically no detail at all there. Okay. And then this is one of the 3D printed guns. And I know you can't really see it, but I'll put a picture of it up next to the kit supplied one. Let you see what the difference is. Okay. These are 3D printed uh, with brass barrels. They're very, very nice. Eduard provides photo etch to replace the little railings. I know you can't see it, but there's a couple little railings on both corners. And the photo etch railings really, I don't think really add anything. The 3D printed railings are very fine, very nice. So I'm not going to change them. I'm going to go ahead and leave them with the photo edge or with the printed railings. I think they look just fine. I'll show you more pictures. Okay, so we've got 4 of them done already. They came on 2 sets like this, and I'll put a picture of. This is getting to be more of a slideshow because you can't see the detail real well on camera. But there's 4 pieces to this gun. There's the base. Well, this is actually the base that mounts the deck, and then this swivels on it. This is like the carriage that has all the aiming mechanism to it, and then this is the barrel and the breech, or at least it will once I put the barrel on it. First thing I did was check and see how the barrels fit, and they didn't. There is a hole, but the hole's not even close to the right size. So this is a 0.5 millimeter drill bit, and I went through while they were still on their base, and I just ran through and drilled a 0.5 millimeter hole for each of the barrels. It was very simple. This is really great material. You know, I've worked with cast resin before that's really brittle, but this stuff it's almost like working with styrene. It's very nice. I was kind of leery when I got this kit. I says, oh boy, that stuff looks like it's really fragile, and if you touch it, it'll just come all apart on you. But it's not bad. So let's go ahead and do one right now, and maybe I'll do a couple more. But get rid of these glasses here. They're on a base with these supports, which is the way 3D printing works. This is actually printed upside down. So this goes against a build plate, and it's submerged in a vat of resin. And as it's made, it comes up and layers the resin. I cannot see layer lines on this at all. I'm really, really impressed, you know, with the 3D printing technology as far as it's come. Someday I'm going to really try hard to get my own printer. I would love to try and design and print my own parts. Okay, what I did, I just took my saw and I went with the finest blade, and I just kept it flat on the surface here, and I went through and I just cut these supports off. It's nothing to it. Doesn't take very long. There are a lot of supports. There's the main or the breech there. Just almost here. And there's the base. Almost lost it. And here's the carriage. Okay. So there's the 3 resin parts, and here's the barrel. Right there. So that's what we need to make up the gun. First thing I did was clean all these little supports off the bottom. There's a lot of them. There's probably, I don't know, 25 or 30 on there, but they come off really, really easy. Just take your nippers, and it takes a couple seconds. They did an amazing job with this. 3D printed stuff. There's some airplanes here in the kit too that just look extremely nice. Okay, where did I put my sandpaper? Okay, here it is. It just takes just a tiny little bit of sanding just to smooth this all out. I know you're really not supposed to braid this stuff, but there's such a small amount of it. I'm not really worried about it. That's about all there is to that. Okay. Now on this is the part that mounts right to the deck. That some of it can just snap off just like that and then trim the rest up. Just a touch with a file to clean that edge up. Okay, and then the breech has a few supports on it that you can just nip off real easy. Doesn't take much. Just try and be careful not to nip off anything that's not supposed to be nipped off. And a couple here on the back. I really ought to look at getting a camera that can zoom way in so you guys can see what I'm doing better. Okay, there's all the pieces. Now I noticed, I looked through my reference material and there's three little protrusions here on the side. I know you guys can't see this, but I don't think they're supposed to be there. Looking at my other drawings and pictures. So I've been trimming that off. So that's good to go. So let's this is that no, that's the wrong one. That's the 2 to 5 second. This is the 5 to 10 second cure. Insta cure. Put a drop there. We'll put the base on. You can't use regular styrene cement on this, extra thin or anything. You have to use CA glue. Okay, there's the first piece on the bottom. We'll give it just a second. I don't have any the Instacure. I don't know how well that works anyway. I might get some just to try it, but I've heard that it makes the joints a little bit brittle. Okay, and then on the breech here, the barrel goes in this hole that I've the hole was there, but I just enlarged it a tiny little bit. Doesn't take much. Just like so. It's even got a bore. You know, it doesn't go in very far, but it represents the bore of the gun. So that's good. And then we need to put these two together. Let's get a fresh pick here. Just a couple of little spots here. And set that in place. like so. Put it at just a slight elevation. That's another one done. That's all there is to it. Very, very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and just cut the rest of these off. Okay. And here's the barrels. Let's go ahead and glue the bases on these. There it is. Okay. Let that one sit for a minute. Stuff in the, there's a hole in the base. Just had a little sanding dust in there. Even though, yep, not paying attention to where I'm at here. Here's the second one. Get some square and flat. Okay. Now let's get the barrels in these. Barrels make a nice little handle for getting them where they need to go. And tweezers. Whoops. Too much. Doggone it. Try and get it right on screen for you. Keep everything nice and square and straight. There's one. There's two. Those barrels wouldn't have fit if I hadn't have done just a little bit of work with a drill bit. I don't know what the tolerances are on the printer like that. I imagine it's pretty darn good as far as having parts fit together and everything. Okay. Oops, did that move? Maybe just a tiny bit. I missed a couple of supports on the bottom of that one. Okay, and then we'll put these on the base and you're done. Except for painting, of course. Put a little more glue in there. Okay. Oops, get in there. There's another one. Last one. Okay. Let's give it that a little touch more glue. Okay, guys. That's all 8 of them. I'll put these away for safekeeping until we start doing some painting. I'll do a picture of them so you can see the detail. But that's going to have those all ready to go. All right, we'll come back in a bit and we'll work on something else. Okay. See you soon, guys. On the hull of the ship, I filled it with sprue goo twice, and it's still just slightly soft. I'll show you what I'm doing, but I sanded it a little bit, but it still needs some drying time. In the meantime, I made these, and I know you really can't see too much, but that's a 10 millimeter long piece of styrene tube. I think it's 2 mils on the inside and about 3.5 mils on the outside. Okay, I'll show you what I made them for. Let's get the hole over here. Put some padding down so I don't scratch things up real bad. But here on the stern, I've filled this twice. It still needs some more sanding. It's still a little high, but it's a little soft yet. What I made these for, here's our propeller shafts. Now let me get them in the correct order again. That's that side. After you see them a few times, you kind of get to know what is what. Okay, so here's what these are for. The Arizona had a bit of a tube, that's a little tight on it, sticking out of the, well, like so. Okay, let's see here. Oh, wrong way around. This will make it just a little closer to, it's still a long ways from being correct, but it brings it a little closer. So, go like so. I've been looking at books and pictures and things, and this hole is not even close to being the right shape. Everything should be quite a bit further forward. The propeller should clear well before the beginning of the rudder here. So it's just not, the proportions just aren't right. I'm not going to try and cut things apart and fix everything, but that's the look I'm heading for. Of course, that doesn't want to stay. But just those 4 little pieces of tube, they're 10 millimeters long, and I rounded them, and that's going to get me a lot closer to a correct looking hole. So I'm going to have to wait for that filler to completely dry before I could go a whole lot further on this. So Just want to let you guys know where I was at on things. And once I get all this stuff glued in, I'll go around with some filler and I'll flare, go around and kind of smooth all the contours and everything out with filler. But that's kind of where we're headed. Just those little tubes add a lot of detail. So I'm going to cut the video here, guys. Um, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll get back on this real soon. Just got to let that filler set up a little bit more, and then we'll get on a few other things here. So we'll see you soon, guys. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.